Shinnicon. Shinnicon. Shinnicon, let me rock it, Shaka Khan. Let me rock it, Shinnicon, I feel for you. Shaka Khan, let me tell you what you wanna do. Feel for me, and then I feel for you. And let me take you in your arm, baby, view with the sham shaka. Cause you know that I'm the one to keep you warm, Shaka. And make it on such a physical spell. Let me rock it, Shaka, baby, come on. I feel for you. I think I love you. Let's jive it too. Think I love you. Shinnicon, let me rock you, Shinnicon. Let me rock Jive Talkin too. Shinnicon, let me tell you what you're gonna do. Gonna take it in the day, gonna go real too. Let me take you on, baby, baby, with the charm, chaka. Cause you know that I'm the one to keep you warm, chaka. Baby, 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 let's jive shit. Shit. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another stimulating, titillating, tantalizing, and delicious episode of Jive Talkin with Shane Diablo. We just sit around. I talk about a couple of news stories that I found interesting this week. We do this every week, and then at the very end, the best part, we get into your comments from the last episode. So let's get it kicked off and get it started. Now you're seeing this in this image here. You're seeing some spooksters, okay? You're seeing some skeleton face spooksters. Only half the face there. This guy was a little lazy and decided not to put the white on, or maybe mom ran out of the white makeup, so he's just got the black bits. But I wanted to learn a little bit more about this because Ghost are out on tour with the Reimpera Amon Amarth opening. If you haven't watched my video, Amon Amarth spanked my cheeks the other night. You got to watch that. Talk a little bit about that show. But Missouri venue apologizes to Ghost fans for miscommunication about face paint policy. Do they do this to Kiss? When Kiss comes to town and the 60-year-old man shows up wearing a star on his eye, do they say, "Sir, I'm sorry, you can't do that"? The Missouri venue where Ghost and Amon Amarth performed on Friday, August 11th, has apologized to the band's fans for miscommunication about the venue's face paint policy. 2 days before the concert, Hollywood Casino Amphitheater in Maryland Heights revealed via social media that face paint or mask covering the face would not be allowed while entering the venue or purchasing items at concessions. Any face covering must be removable upon request. That was the policy. Despite the publicly stated face paint policy, many of the two bands' fans arrived at the concert to realize they were in violation of this policy and were either denied entry or told to remove the face paint by venue staff. This is bullshit, man. These kids spent the entire morning listening to Ghost records and painting their face up and smoking ganja. And now you're going to do that to them? This resulted in general confusion about what was and what was not allowed. With one female Ghost fan reporting on Instagram that she was told her makeup foundation was too light and it looked like face paint to them. So I had makeup wipes given to me and told that the white eye contact didn't help. Or you had a contact in the, yeah. Another attendee wrote Facebook, "So weird. We didn't see anyone have issues. We stood in the VIP line over an hour with people who had makeup. They all got through security. And I see something here. And no one said a word to them. Sucks it happened. I have even to Kiss shows there as well. People wore Kiss makeup. I have even to Kiss shows there? Okay. Hollywood Casino Amphitheater released a statement the following day, apologizing for the confusion and clarifying that Ghost wasn't behind the face paint policy. I did a TikTok, and everyone was trying to rip my ass about it, going, "It wasn't Ghost, dude." And I wasn't saying that it was Ghost, of course, because I saw them, and everyone in the audience had face paint on, and nobody was kicked out or handed wet naps. Ghost was not behind the face paint policy. Attendees who experienced issues, quote, at the concert were urged to contact the venue by email to help, quote, improve the process for, quote, for future shows. Yeah, but Ghost has been there before, haven't they? Haven't they been to your town, wherever this was? Wasn't Maryland. The venue statement reads as follows. Thanks to everyone who joined us for an amazing Ghost show last night. On behalf of our crew, we'd like to apologize for a miscommunication about removing face paint. This was not directed by Ghost. If you experience issues at last night's show, please reach out to us so we can improve for future shows. You don't care. Come on now. You don't want people clogging up your email. Ghost kicked off its summer 2023 U.S. tour on August 2nd at the Concord Pavilion in Concord, California. Support on the Re-Imperator is coming from the aforementioned fellows and delightful Swedes Amon Amarth. Produced by Live Nation and FPC Live, the 27-date trek is stopping in Salt Lake City, Chicago, Cincinnati, Austin, and more before wrapping up with the band's September 11th, never forget, and 12th return to the Kia Forum in Los Angeles. They do 2 nights there. Ghost is continuing on tour in support of its 5th album, Impera, sold 70,000 equivalent album units in the U.S., in its first week of release to land at position number 2 on the Billboard 200 charts. It marked the 3rd top 10 and the 5th top 40 charting set for the Swedish act. There you have that. Adrian Vandenberg, remember him? I saw this. It says Steve Vai almost apologized, kind of apologized. What did he apologize for? That sounds interesting to me. I want to get into it. Adrian Vandenberg says Stephen Vai kind of apologized for his behavior in Whitesnake. What was he behaving badly? What was he doing? What was Steve doing? And was Steve Vai in there? I know he's been in the band, but was he in there in those music videos? It was Adrian, John Sykes. He wrote a lot of that music, but it wasn't him in there, was it? I can't remember who was in those music videos. The big ones? Following on from Steve Vai's admission that he was a bit of a prima donna during his stint with Whitesnake in a story that made the news last week. I didn't know about that. Adrian Vandenberg has revealed that his one-time 6-string partner apologized to him for his behavior during the tenure in David Coverdale's Rock Behemoths. Vandenberg made the revelation during a chat with Eon Music about Vandenberg's new album, Sin. Ooh. Is that out? Vai joined Whitesnake in time for the 1989 Slip of the Tongue, an album co-written by Vandenberg. Okay, yes, no. So he wasn't in those videos, Still of the Night and all that. Although the Dutch guitarist didn't feature on album, he rejoined the band for its subsequent tour cycle. Speaking to Eon Music about their musical partnership, Adrian said,
Steve and I became really good friends pretty much instantly. I think it worked really well between Steve and I because I thought it sounded so different.
Going on to talk about their differences as players, Vandenberg said,
I'm very melodic player. That's always been my passion. And Steve, especially in that period, was very flashy because he felt he had to prove himself more. That's what he told me later.
Going on to reveal that Vai had apologized for what? Vai had apologized for what he himself last week described as prima donna behavior. Vandenberg said,
Steve later on said, man, I have to say, at the time my ego was a little inflated.
He said, kind of apologized for it. He said,
I was just getting carried away by the period of time when everybody was going, oh, Steve Vai.
Admitting that I thought they'd be going, oh, Steve Vai, when he was doing David Lee Roth more than Whitesnake, wouldn't they? Admitting that it was tough not to get to play on the Slip of the Tongue album, Adrian was philosophical. How do you say that? Philosophical. Do you say official?
As frustrating as it was that I wasn't able to play on my own songs because this wrist injury at the time, I thought, well, anyway, it's kind of cool that a player of Steve's caliber play on the songs. In a recent interview with Vintage Rock, Vai stated that his decision to join the David Coverdale-fronted band after parting ways with David Lee Roth, also I guess he would be in Whitesnake and everyone would be going, ooh, it's Steve Vai. He just came from David Lee Roth. In my mind, I think he's very polite fellow. So he's like, in my mind, that was what I was doing. I was surrendering my career because the music for my solo album, Passion and Warfare, which every guitar player I knew had it. What was the little alien tune? It was like, I always thought those guitar player albums, solo musical, no vocal albums are just kind of strange for me. I guess you got to be a guitar player, right? What's he going on about? I was surrendering my career because the music for my solo album, Passion and Warfare, which ended up getting released in 1990, I knew it was very different. I knew it. I just knew it. Vai went on to admit that he lacked the confidence to perform instrumental music in front of an audience as he was used to having a frontman. So I thought, well, it would make much more sense to tour with Whitesnake and make a good record with them, he explained. And for the momentum of the other side of my career, and lucky for me, I really like the music of Whitesnake. I mean, I really, really, really like it. Back then, their Whitesnake album had sold 25 million copies, and it was a great record. I just love great singers, and Coverdale was a monster. I mean, come on. I watched that guy get on stage every ding-dong damn night and deliver like a boss. So I thought, yeah, man, I want in. It was great. When I got into the band, all the music was written and recorded for the Slip of the Tongue record. I just had to put the guitar on it. That was another really great group of guys. Let's get out of here, right? Let's get out of here. Can we find out what he said? What did he say? If anyone, he was just being a prima donna. Is that it? He didn't slap anyone, or he didn't say anything really rude, like your mama jokes or anything. Let's go on to this. Nick Bowcott, Grim Reaper. He's going to get together. Have you heard of this guy, Tim Ripper Owens? He's got a band called Ripper now, and he's KK's priest and stuff. I'm sure you've heard. I'm almost positive you've heard of him. His name's Tim Ripper Owens. They're going to redo See You in Hell. Steve Grimmett. Come on. I think this shouldn't. I think it should be done because I really want to hear it, but I don't want to see a Nick Bowcott. Nick Bowcott should have been doing Steve Grimmett's Grim Reaper with him. Okay, that's what I'm going to say about that. Grim Reaper founder Nick Bowcott collaborates with Tim Ripper Owens on a new version of See You in Hell, My Friends. One of the finest ever British metal vocalists, Grim Reaper's frontman, Steve Grimmett, tragically passed away on August 15, 2022. He was 62 years young. To celebrate, okay, now I'm feeling better about this. To celebrate Steve's life, a group of his friends got together and recorded a new version of See You in Hell. He's not in hell, though, guys. Unless he wants to be in hell, he's not in hell. The players are renowned YouTuber Steve Stein, who also made the Grimstein album with Grimmett. I haven't heard any of that. Sorry. Brian Hollenbeck of Hairball on bass. Joel Stevenet, a top session player on drums. Grim Reaper founder, riff writer, and guitarist Nick Bowcott. Some of the best guitar playing, best riffs, and best solos on that. What is that second or third record they put out? Night of the Vampire? It's got Night of the Vampire on it. It's got Rock You to Hell and Lust for Freedom and Suck It and See, and just great. Nick Bowcott on guitar, and Tim Ripman, Ripper Owens, Judas Priest, Iced Earth, KK's Priest on the vocals.
It also features Steve's son and daughter, Russ. Okay, now I'm loving this. Russ and Sammy Grimmett on backing vocals. Unless they don't sound good. Don't turn the volume down on them if they don't sound good. This no-brainer idea was hatched by Steve Stein and myself shortly after our mutual friend's passing, recalls Bowcott. Isn't he from England? It was obvious tribute to Steve Grimmett. Incredible voice and legacy, recruiting Brian and Joel as the rhythm section, and also a no-brainer. Not only are they great players, they'd also already played with us on several quarantine jams with Steve Grimmett singing, including a cover of Heaven and Hell. Well, I gotta go watch this stuff. I didn't know any of this. Which has earned over 680,000 views on Facebook. That's why. I'll never go there. I'm sorry. I'll never go. As far as vocals, Tim was my first and only call. Not only was he a good friend of Mr. Grimmett's, that's good. They did a 3 Tremors tour together. He also possesses the same incredible levels of power, tone, and vocal range that Steve had. In fact, the first time I played with Tim reminded me of the first time I jammed with Steve. I was so blown away with what I had heard, I nearly stopped playing. I mean, my fingers just literally just almost stopped playing my guitar when I heard the Ripper Man singing. Thankfully, Ripper was only too happy to do it, and boy, did he deliver. Is there going to be a taste of this? Let's find out. The goods, sorry, couldn't resist. Nick continued, we all recorded and filmed our part remotely in different parts of America, and then a rough mix was sent over to England for Sammy and Russ to record their backing vocals. Then, after Steve Stein mixed it, we spent a long time gathering up photos of Steve G that would make up the bulk of Celebration tribute video. Having done that, the whole thing was expertly edited together by Ryan Sanders. We then decided to sit on it and unleash it on the first anniversary of our dear friend's passing as both a celebration and a tribute. When Steve and myself co-wrote See You in Hell over 40 years ago, we had no idea that it would change our lives to the extent it did. We also couldn't have imagined in even our wildest dreams that it would still resonate with so many people over the 4 decades later. I sincerely hope that this heartfelt effort does Steve's legacy justice, as he was not only a great singer, he also happened to be a wonderful father, son, husband. He was a great friend to many too. In fact, he was one of the kindest, gentlest, and modest men I've ever been fortunate enough to meet. And as an added bonus, he was also funny too. Rest in peace, Steve, my friend, and thank you. Your memory, music, and mirth will always live on. Okay, if it means so much, damn it, Nick Bowcott, get those freaking records on Spotify. There's a best of there for Grim Reaper on there, and I want the records there. Please and thank you. Let's get into this quick story here. Dave Lombardo, do you know him? He does so many projects, but you might know him from Slayer. He says, I admonish people who talk shit about Lars Ulrich. Now, admonish, that's a bad thing, right? Admiration would be a good thing, but admonish would be a bad thing. And when people talk shit about Lars Ulrich, he admonishes that. And I wanted to learn a little bit more about it. In a new interview with UK's Metal Hammer magazine, from Slayer drummer Dave Lombardo came to the defense of Metallica's Lars Ulrich. Asked whether he feels Ulrich gets unfairly dismissed as a drummer by many metal fans, Lombardo said, "Abso-freaking-tootly-lootly, man. I saw Mario Duplantier. He's amazing. Gojira. Recently talking about Lars, saying some kind of words." Was he saying bad words about him? I mean, that dude probably could. He is an amazing drummer. I feel Lars is an essential part of that band. And I agree with that right there. Anybody else, he is an essential part of the band. Anybody else, and it just wouldn't sound the same. I admonish the people who talk shit about him. I don't like that. You have to embrace who Lars is. And his contribution to Metallica's sound. They're such an inspirational band, and everybody wants to be as big as they are, including me. And me. And you could only do that by taking risks. They shocked people when they cut their hair or whatever, put on the goth makeup too. That's shocking. That shocked me. And Kirk Hammett was wearing the black feather boas. But it was part of their evolution, and they clearly knew what they were doing. I love that they're still out there kicking some ass. Back in 2014, Lombardo asked during a clinic in Italy to comment on the fact that Ulrich's drum skills are constantly questioned. He replied, I think Lars is a good drummer. He's a good arranger. He arranges. Without Lars, there wouldn't be a Metallica. So you have to give him credit for that, for what he does for the band. Yes, you can watch the Howard Stern clip where Howard Stern says, how did you come up with Hush Little Baby Don't Say a Word? What's that song? Enter Sandman. How did you come up with that? And they all go, oh, well, Lars did it. Kirk says, and he shows you the riff. I went, he says, but then Lars came over. And he said, you got to go. And he said, and then there you have it. And then we got Grammys. Lombardo continued, it's very important when you have chemistry within a band. There's 4 members of that band. When there's chemistry like a special interaction between musicians, if you take one musician out, it's not the same. If you take Lars out of the equation, it won't be the same. I 100% agree. You go back and listen to Master of Puppets, he's not death metal bass in those drums or anything like that. He's playing punk beats for it. And when you listen to it, you say, that's what that needed. It would be too much if you had a Paul Bostoff or whatever playing the drums. It would just be too much. He's a groove. He puts it in a groove. Hush, little baby. You understand? While speaking with UK's Rhythm magazine back in 2009, Lombardo was a bit more critical of Lars' drumming ability, saying that playing with Metallica at Download in June 2024 was a great experience, but adding that it was good to show him how it's done. Dave continued, No disrespect to Lars, because Lars is great, and he's a very nice guy. But he needs to spend a week at my house, and we need to sit down and play. I could show him. No, Lars, like this. Let's chill, let's relax, have a glass of wine if we want to, get comfy if we want to, have some coffee, and let's just play. A few months later, Lombardo was asked by Noise Creep if Ulrich had ever accepted his offer of a drum lesson. Oh man, no he hasn't. Lombardo said, laughing. Yeah, but that was all done as a joke. It's just me having fun, man. It's just me having some laughs and some giggles. Lombardo added, of course, someone asked me about Download Festival. It's like, yeah, show him how it's done. But I don't need to show him. He's amazing. But there's always that kind of rivalry, that fun rivalry. Ulrich blamed his non-appearance of the 2004 Download on exhaustion caused by an unrelenting tour schedule and the breakup of his 7-year marriage to Skylar Sattenstein. Jesus, that sounds like a horror movie. Oh my God, it's Sattenstein outside. He said in 2005 interview, it was the first ever Metallica gig I'd ever missed. All right, there's enough of that. Joey Belladonna, really quick here, and then we're going to watch Joey Belladonna's, we're going to try. If I get dinged for this, you won't see it at all, but it's this story here's about Joey Belladonna this Friday. I put out a video. It was Joey Belladonna playing hide and seek with Pantera on stage. Phil could not see him for anything. He must be going blind or something. But says here, Joey Belladonna says he has yet to record any vocals on the new Anthrax music. And then we're going to a little bit of this and then watch the promo video for Beyond Frontiers, Joey Belladonna's band. In a new interview with Radioactive, Mike Z, host of the 96.7 KCAL-FM program Wired in the Empire. Anthrax singer Joey Belladonna was asked if he's had a chance to begin laying down those tasty vocals on the band's long-awaited follow-up to 2016's For All Kings album. He responded like this: "No, I haven't done anything yet. I kind of clear that air until everything is about getting closer to the point where you need to start gearing up to go on in to sing stuff. It's an exciting time to be able to take on songs from song to song to song and really just find the best path to great versions of something that may or may not be what you're expecting, for me and for the fans and the bands just as well." So I don't know what he's saying here. So yeah, it's really interesting time. I love the studio. Cool on the Robitussin, buddy. During an August 2nd appearance on Sirius XM, Trunk Nation with Eddie Junk in the Trunk, Anthrax guitarist, Scott Ian, said that he and his bandmates had not gotten very far in the tracking process for their next LP. We had sessions here in L.A., he said. Charlie Benante, Anthrax drummer, Frankie Bello, Anthrax bassist, and I tracked 9 tunes. I finished the guitars on those right before we went to New York, so I don't know, sometime end of June, something like that. Frankie is currently in L.A. tracking bass on those 9 songs. Since I've had time, like a month, to live with my guitar tracks, I've heard lots of things that I think were very cool to kind of add. So I'm going in and spending a day doing some overdubs. Jonathan Donias, Anthrax guitarist, that's the other fella. I always want to see old Dan Spitz up there, but that never happens. Is already on solos back east at his home studio, and I am working on lyrics, so I think we're all into it. Let's put that away. There's going to be another recording session October, maybe November. Charlie's got these 2 windows to get in because we have another 4 or 5 songs we want to track. We're hoping if things just stay on the very loose schedule we have, I'd like to think by Christmas or New Year's we'll have most of this wrapped up. Maybe not mixed, but certainly all recorded by then. Scott continued, "My goal is that..." Well, where's Eddie? "So what are your goals? I'd like to know what your goals are." Scott Ian says, "My goal is to have 3 songs ready for Belladonna to start on next month. Joey, it doesn't take him very long. And wait till you hear him sing in Journey, you'll understand why. Once he kind of wraps his head around it and kind of runs it through his filters, he's a fast worker. So once he starts, it doesn't take long. It's more, I think, the onus of me being happy with the lyrics I'm writing." So when did Scott Ian start? I always thought Charlie Benante wrote most of the music. Or did Charlie Benante just write all the good Anthrax music? Because I thought that Charlie Benante wrote all the guitar riffs on the guitar, on an acoustic guitar, and the melodies, and the lyrics. So what's this dude, Scott Ian, over here doing lyrics for? Is he sitting down writing lyrics while he's back there drumming for Pantera? And then he's going to show up to the studio, and Scott Ian's going to say, "No, I've already got all the lyrics done." And he's going to say, "We're throwing them in the garbage because I write the lyrics." What's going to happen with that? Because I actually had like 3 or 4 songs written a month ago, and then I revisited them like a month ago, and I threw them all in the garbage, like Charlie Benante will when he sees my lyrics. When I get over to the studio, he will throw them right in the garbage. I was like, this is crap. But I'm in a much better place with that now. Regarding the musical direction of the new Anthrax material, Scott said, certainly of the 9 songs we've tracked so far, and of course the rough kind of demos we have of some of the stuff we haven't tracked and with drums yet, from a riff point of view, it's definitely, I mean, it's riffs with all capital letters, R-I-F-F-S, riffs. Like if you were going to write, you would write riffs in all capitals. I just said that, and he's literally saying that right now. With an exclamation point at the end. The riffs are killer. It's very riff-centric. There's a lot of fast, up-tempo material, certainly. Well, Eddie might have said, could you tell us a little more about some of the songs and stuff? I will say there is a song. I won't say any titles yet. I will not, because Charlie will throw that right in the garbage. Because it's still probably a working title. There's definitely one song. It's the fastest thing we've ever done. Really. There's another song that we haven't recorded yet that also is in the vein of more of a gung-ho or a caught in the mosh. Hey! Because Charlie and I talk all the time. I said, we still need something that's like a 3.5 minute just ripper. You know? Something like that. And then we come up with something like that, and I'm like, hey, I forgot. I'm 60 now. And now I have to play this song for the next 3 years. Just make my life harder. LOL. This past May, it was announced that Ian, Benante, and Bello had been in the studio with producer Jay Ruston, laying down basic tracks in preparation for Belladonna. Yeah, where is he talking about him? It's just like Scotty Ian to just hog up an interview, right? That's all that Joey Belladonna got to say is, no, I haven't done it yet. Thanks for asking, but... All right, do you want to watch this? We're going to get into your comments right after this. Now, I'm telling you right now, it's 1 minute long. And if my videos ding, we're going to be getting right to your comments because you're not going to see this. But you're going to be quite surprised. Or you will be not quite surprised. But get in the comments, tell me what you think.
Any way you want it, that's the way you need it. Any way you want it. Someday love will find you. Break those chains that bind you. One night
We'll remind you how it touched on when our separate ways. Hit us with something else. He's loving the Separate Ways album. You tell me that damn son of a gun doesn't have a good voice. Tell me he doesn't have a good voice. I come right over there right now. I think he even kind of styles his hair a bit like kind of Steve Perry style. Or is that too much? Am I making stuff up now? There we go. Stone in love. Stop. It's a soprano song. Oh, Jesus, I'm not very good with that. I'm very not good with that. Let's get into your comments, everybody. I hope that you got to hear a little bit of that and you know that how good Joey Belladonna does it. And if you go out there and if you see the name in your local free paper, I'm sure you got like some kind of a city paper or whatever, and it says Beyond Frontiers, Joey Belladonna's Beyond Frontiers, go over there. go to the show and film something and then put it on YouTube so we can watch it together. Mike Buchanan coming in. It's time for your comments, everybody. I've told you this. I'm not a liar. I told you that at the end of every episode, we get into your thoughts, opinions, and comments from the last episode or whatever's on your brain. Let's get into it. Mike Buchanan here. By the time you read... Oh, boy. Please don't... Okay. By the time you read this, I will have seen the 10th anniversary version of Sharknado in theaters. Remember when I said that I just want one more Sharknado movie? Yes, and I remember there was an ultimatum on that, but we're going to cancel that now. Well, I guess my wish came true, sort of. I cannot wait. He loves his Sharknado. Ain't nothing wrong with that. I love all those Saw movies, and everyone goes, dude, they're terrible. At least the last 3 or 4 of them are, I love them all. Now getting into movies that are bad, but we love them anyways. I give you, Kroll. I give to you Kroll. 1983. Man, oh man, I remember watching the crap out of this one as a kid on HBO. Yes, over and over and over. They had 10 movies on HBO. And I watched it over and over. That star knife that he had. I was like, I want that, Mommy. I want one of them. Did not hold up well over the years. And that just makes it that much better. Kroll is one of those sci-fi movies that that you just can't help but watch. It's a swashbuckling adventure rescue alien movie. It doesn't know what it wants to be. Plus, it's got one of the coolest weapons ever created. The glaives. The glaives, yes. Another movie that I would throw in there would be Beastmaster. That was great too. I'm going to be seeing Living Color in concert Friday, August 19th. Yes! First time I've seen them since like 1990. Maybe Corey will just go wander around. They are opening, they're opening for Extreme? Okay, I'm going to read this. Maybe Corey will just go wander around and eat a turkey leg. They are opening for Extreme. Since my Wasp concert was canceled, I decided to grab tickets at the last minute. Dude, you're going to love it. Get some video. Put it on the internet. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, and Wasp canceled because, of course, Blackie Lawless didn't think he was going to bounce back. The last time, still Mike Buchanan here, the last time I saw Danzig was when he opened for Metallica. Wow. Thinking that he could just drive himself to the concert if he really wanted to perform badly enough. I shall not be seeing that tour. I saw Danzig the first few times, or I saw him Lucifuge, How the Gods Kill, and the one after that. And the first time I saw him, this is a true story, I was up front, very front, John Christ, Erie Vaughn. I slung our cassette tape, my heavy metal band's cassette tape, and it smacked him in the shoe, and he picked it up. And I love Glenn Danzig for that. He picks up the cassette, looks at it for a second, looking at the tape, and he put the tape in the back of his big belt, his big belt that he wears. And I was like, oh my God, he's going to listen to it. And then he just turned into a real ding-dong and then gave me a strike on my channel. Things that he could have driven himself in concert before badly. I shall not be seeing that tour. Okay, Doug Aldrich was in the band in the early 2000s. Okay. And I would, he's talking about Dio. I would love to hear a new unheard song from Ronnie James Dio. I'm sure that there's more out there. Yeah. Reissues of albums is a big industry that sadly most bands have nothing to do with. Some don't care, but those that do, it really hurts them. Or if you are a certain pop star, you just record your past albums are released and release them again. Who dat? Michael Jackson? Or Taylor Swift. Oh, right down the wrong hole. Why don't I learn to swallow right? Ugh. Boy. Still Mike Buchanan here. Come on, guys. Let's get that crazy night song in fast. I've got 430 buffet plans for dinner tonight. What? Don't eat 430 items at the buffet place tonight, okay, Mike? Get 4. You don't need 430. Get 4 things. Get some mashed potatoes. You get some pulled pork or some kind of roast. Get you some sweet corn. Get you a nice salad, okay? Don't get 430 things. There are plenty of bands out there, they need to hang it up. As a fan, you don't want to see this, but yeah, age happens. Yeah. Wait, you're crazy cat guy? You're a crazy cat guy. Mike Buchanan's asking me if I'm a crazy cat guy. Yes. I could never stand cats. I never liked cats in my life. And then we got 3 kittens, and one of them has worked its way not only into my room and my life, but now my heart. So I'm a crazy cat guy. I'm a crazy one cat guy. Still Mike Buchanan. Joey's like, maybe if I grab a microphone, I can get the best seats to watch the concert. They'll never know. Is he talking about the video? The Pantera video I did? He grabs the microphone and does a big faux pas at the end of that video. But he only says, smack, and then he kind of wanders around and he's trying to get Phil's attention. But Phil's not having it. That's in that video. And now, your Jive Talkin jokes of the week. I told my therapist that I can't get the Grease soundtrack out of my head. She said, tell me more, going with him, tell me more. I told the nurse I was bitten by a wolf. Where? She asked. No, regular. Oh. Yesterday I went rock climbing and the guy above me kept farting. It was the worst ascent I've ever had to deal with. My Uber driver, yeah, that's the way you do it. You go rock climbing and you eat a big bowl of chili before you guys start heading up the mountain. Because you're going to be doing a lot of grunting. When you climb, you grunt. My Uber driver really cares about my mental health. Just this morning, I got a message from him saying, I'm here for you. Sad news, a friend of mine broke up with his girlfriend, Lorraine, because he was seeing another girl, Claire Lee. But the good news is, he can see Claire Lee now. And Lorraine is gone. Oh, Jesus. If I could remember those names, I'd tell that joke again, but I'll forget. While driving to work, robbers jumped into my car and stole everything. They were pirates of the car I be in. And finally, my wife called me at the bar, said if you're not home in 10 minutes, I'm giving the dinner I made you to the dogs. I was home in 5. I'd hate for anything to happen to the dogs. You got it. It's a good one. Still Mike Buchanan here. By the way, I can find the Skeeter movie. I can find on the movie Skeeter is the trailer on YouTube, or I can buy it for like $100. Thanks for thinking about looking for it for me, though. You got it. There's the heart. Oscar coming in here. And there is no Pantera, quote, Pantera anymore. Zach uses too many pinch harmonics, and members past, Rex, Phil, Charlie, and yes, Zach, will one day be rolling in the graves together at once. Well, technically, they might not be in the same grave. I don't even know if you can get those. Like a casket made for 4. Because then that implies you're going to kill, because you don't know when those people are going to die. So I don't know, but they will be dead at some point in the future. Maybe a long time in the future, hopefully. Oscar, here. He says, I had Ozzy's No More Tours tour on VHS. Ozzy indeed started this charade, or probably his cuss wife, Sharon. His cute wife, Sharon. The videotape ended with his little boy, Jack, John, or whoever, giving a high five to Ozzy. The No More Tours had a baby Jack in it? Wow. In hindsight, there is doubt about the choreography. Okay. Bing, there's your heart there, Oscar. Oscar coming in again. I saw Alice Cooper open for the Fools used to be called Motley Crue. I was boozed, thinking it was the last tour and authentic. Yep. You get boozed when you know. I'm going to start using that word too, boozed. You done boozed me, you son of a bitch. Very good, Oscar. There you go. Kevin Ortega coming in here. Danzig shortages on tour buses and performing first album. Weird news about the shortage of tour buses. Never knew that was a possibility. Sort of speechless. However, that's pretty cool. He is performing the first album in its entirety. It's my favorite Danzig album. Mine too. And then I like Lucifuge. Kevin Ortega on Dio and Doug Aldrich song. Awesome that an unreleased song will be coming out soon. It's pretty interesting when music does get lost. I remember losing an entire notebook book of songs I had written years ago because I misplaced it. 10 years later, I found it, and now I've been messing around with them. There you go, baby. It gets the juices going again because you go, wow, there's some tunes that that you liked. Pretty fun. Kevin on Alice Cooper. I'm looking forward to the new album that is coming out. The 2 singles I've heard are pretty cool. For all the reissues, I'm glad that they are being released, whether he has anything to do with them or not. Doesn't sound like he's bothered by it either. Kevin on D. Snyder on blasting bands that need to retire. I actually agree with him on everything he says. When it's time to pack it in and retire, do it, and you will totally get my respect. Thanks always, my brother, for all this and all you do for humanity. Well, the humanity part's not in there, but then there is the praying hands. And a cheers. I'm sorry, that gets you a thumb. Compliments get you everywhere. The Gaming Chapel. Always fun to see a new video pop up. One reaction that I think would be interesting. Oh, ding, ding, ding. Just for future reference, the Gaming Chapel. Anywhere else is a good place for requests, except for the Jive Talkin. But let's go ahead. Let's see what he's got here. Band called Aortus, I think that's what he's saying. Their song Brittle Bones is beautiful and also very chilling and haunting. That's got me. Within the song, it contains a real 911 call, and it really makes the song take a whole new life. There is a live version of it that you can hear the 911 call a bit better, or the normal album video version. The song is completely instrumental, and they are such a talented band from Lithuania. The album the song is called Film Noir, and here is the description of it from the band. The album, sharing the same name as the cinematic genre, is driven by a mood of pessimism and menace. While working on this album, we decided to explore even more disturbing and uncomfortable topics. Alcoholism. Oh, hold on, I need a drink. Down the right hole, baby. Down the right. There we go. Drugs, physical and psychological abuse, manipulation. It's all part of our everyday life. We have used the real samples of some actual tragic life events to create a greater emotional impact to the listener and make him aware. This is not a casual album to listen to, but we believe the film noir will succeed to deliver the message we wanted to communicate. What is that? There's one of them. I'm going to give you a heart there, buddy. Good job. Thank you. I got to take the heart back, though, because if I give the heart, then they think, oh, the comment's coming saying I'm going to do it. I don't know if we're going to get there or not. The reason why is what's that one crime podcast that's out there? It's called Skull and Hammer or something. What's it called? But I listen to some of them, and man, I have panic attacks because they got the 911 calls in there and it's a very well put together. What's it called? Hammer and something, but put that in the comments and tell me. But 911 calls and stuff like that, that gets I get all too worked up. I don't want to hear someone, oh my God, please show up. He's killing everyone. He's killing everybody. I mean, Grandma and Auntie Nan, he's killing everybody. I just don't. It's too much for me. The Miss Althea come in here. The dumbstruck fool says, living color. Respect to them for having a sense of humor and taking your video with a lighthearted piece of entertainment. It was meant to be. Thank you. She's already getting a thumb. Now that the turkey leg shtick has been outed, though, can you imagine the next time they do a show and real hardcore fans are present? I am just imagining the heavy metal horns in the air with the resounding chant of turkey leg, turkey leg. Woo! Even better if fans actually showed up to the gig with turkey legs. Yeah, could you believe that when they actually posted on there? I mean, and it was just, I was more blown away that they were playing a gig because they're freaking living color. And there's people sitting on the benches and, he's got time in the middle of Cult of Personality. He's not eating a turkey leg on Arsenio Hall. Go watch Arsenio Hall when they're doing Cult of Personality. He doesn't have a turkey leg in there, but when he's around all them turkeys at Epcot Park, he's got to do it. Miss Althea on Danzig. There's a tour bus shortage, ? For his band, ? Really? Who's hogging them all? Taylor Swift? Hey, she's dueling out crew bonuses. I heard that. Big ones. Left and right. So who would not want to be working for her on a summer tour? That's a very good point. On her summer tour right now. That is a damn good point. There might be bus shortages because she paid out $100,000 bonuses to her drivers. Everyone is, I guess there's like subliminal messages in her music or something. Everyone freaking loves Taylor Swift. I saw a video where Channing Tatum had a big heart on his face and was at the Taylor Swift concerts. They love her. And if I'm a truck driver, which I am, but not a long-haul truck driver, and you give me a bonus, Taylor Swift bonus like that, I'm happy. I'm saying, sorry, Danzig. You know what he gives him? A slap in the mouth. And says, hey, and don't you film me when I'm on stage tonight. Don't you film a damn minute of what I'm doing up there. That's what he says to his drivers. Miss Althea on Alice Cooper. I'm sorry, but I got lost with the story at the part where Johnny Depp hit his head and passed out. What? I mean, the dude's a hot mess. The operative word being hot, right? Please see Alice live if you ever have the opportunity. He always delivers a fantastic show, and I promise you will be entertained. And I know that I will. I don't know what, there's always been a circumstance to the reason why I couldn't go see him. And now I am really not digging big arena type venue shows, but if he comes, I'm going to have to go. Miss Althea on D. Snyder. I hate to second guess anything he said, but I am honestly not trusting that Twisted Sister won't announce another reunion tour. Even if it's just 5 shows in New York and New Jersey. Good point, because that was the boroughs and stuff where they started and played. Leaving D to eat his words for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. If not all that, then Motley Crue and Kiss should take heed. Oh my goodness, she's got Miss Althea on Mike B. Is killing me with his bad movie recommendations, and I basically endorse ditto anything he throws out there. I think he and I are cut from the same cloth when it comes to such things. And God bless Tubi for having it all, well, almost all, readily available. I watch so much Tubi, it's unbelievable. I also have to give a nod to the Sci-Fi Channel for honoring the tradition and producing god-awful, modern-day, nap-worthy masterpieces. One of my favorite in 2000 is 2007's Ice Spiders. More what could possibly go wrong in a government lab. Fair, period. There you go. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. And she's get too hard. She's already got 2 thumbs up. You get another one. Jolly Jake Lavelle coming in. He hasn't been around here in a little bit. Glenn may not throw the horns correctly, but I am sure he looks up to Ronnie James Dio. That's damn fine. You see, because Ronnie was a small person, and Glenn Danzig's short, so he looks up. Fantastic. And Steve Bernard coming in. Great news about Danzig. Saw him perform most of the first album when he opened for Metallica in 1988, but he never played End of Time, which is my favorite song off the first album. Huh? Well, this will be interesting to know if he plays it this time, right? There you go, there you go. All, one and all, one and all, one and all. We're going to wrap it up. We're going to wrap up this edition. Episode 90. Can you believe that? I can't. We're going to go wacky and wild with it and fun, and we're just going to do it. Song bank. Jive talking fun. Jive talking fun. What song is that, McDonald? Jive talking. What the hell song is that? This really went to shit. My fair lady. Jive. Jesus. Turn it. No. Turn it fucking off now.